The Justice Hema Committee report has, in a sense, led the Kerala movie industry to confront, now without having anywhere to hide, its own Me Too moment. I'm Barkha Dutt, you're with the Mojo Story. A fight led primarily by the women's collective of the Kerala film industry has finally led the country to stand up and take notice of sexual harassment within Kerala's film industry. This has been a long and protracted battle, and the Justice Hema Committee panel that was looking into many of these allegations has finally been placed in the public domain, but even so contentiously, with some paragraphs redacted from the copy that has been provided to journalists. This has been a long and arduous battle, especially for Kerala's women's collective that has led the fight for greater transparency and for light to be shone on many of these allegations that have remained buried, as it were, in the shadows. In the last couple of days, over the weekend, we have also seen two prominent exits from major film association bodies by Ranjith and Siddique after specific allegations of harassment and even assault have been leveled against them. Joining us on the program now is actor, movie maker, and leading member of the Kerala Women's Collective, Revathy. Thank you, Revathy, for being with us. I want to start by asking you the importance of this moment. I don't think it's getting as much national attention as it needs to. This is an inquiry committee that has come into the public domain after a long time, after many years. What do you think is the most important sort of set of facts that have emerged from it? The panel talks about a very powerful group operating within the industry, and we have seen two powerful men resign from film association groups over the weekend. How would you, in a sense, look at the importance of this moment?
Thank you, Barkha, for the introduction. Yes, I think this movement is a very, very important movement. It started in 2018, actually 2017, when the Hema Committee was set up by the CM on the behest of WCC. And 2019 December, they submitted the report. And this report, I have to tell you something about it, that when they started, there were most people were not willing to speak about, their experiences. And absolutely, understandably so, because nothing really happens. So then members of WCC definitely spoke to them and said that this is a place where you can feel safe. And by speaking about your experiences, we could change things in the future. So there was a very specific reason why they all went and spoke, and they definitely wanted complete privacy to whatever they said, and they felt that it was a safe space to speak. So 2019, when the report was ready and given to the government, WCC expected it to be shared with us and some of the women's groups who were involved in it to understand what the report is about. But for reasons that they know, it just went on extending, and it went on to cases and impleadments and asking people to the government to kind of bring out the report. And it happened after nearly 4 years and 7 months that the report actually came out.
Now, Revathy, as you have just told us, this is a report that has been ready for several years. It has taken such a long time for it to come into the public domain. And even then, as you now know, there are 11 paragraphs that are redacted, that we are not being allowed public access to. How concerned are you about that? Why, even after so many years, are parts of the findings of this report being hidden from the media, from the public domain? Has the women's collective managed to see these redacted parts? Do you know what's in it?
No, WCC has not seen it. But also, Barkha, see this, all the women who went and spoke only spoke to this group because they were sure that their privacy would be maintained. I don't know if these paragraphs talk about their names or there is some information about them. So if it has been redacted to keep their privacy, I would appreciate that. So it's not that everything has to come out. Now, again, see, it is a power play. When somebody speaks about another person, it's a
Yeah.
constant fear that after this, they will be, there won't be work, or they will be, their security will be, kind of compromised. And it will be difficult for them to maybe even live in the state of Kerala, because the powers around in that state, especially in the film industry, is pretty large, and
Yeah.
they're big.
Well, well, actually, if the government were to say that the paragraphs redacted concern the private details of some of the women, and that is why they have been redacted, then I think that people would stop wondering if it's attempted to cover up. Right now, unfortunately, it's led to speculation that there are powerful men named in it, and that's why it's been redacted.
Exactly. So I really wish somebody responsible in the government talks about it, and tells the reason. Or it should be Justice Hema, the committee comprised of retired Justice Hema, retired IAS officer Valsala Kumari, and actor Ms. Sharada. So they're all very responsible people in the society. So I'm sure they can come together and say what it is, so that people are not talking about it without understanding the actual reason for
Yeah.
redacting.
Let's talk about some women who have chosen to come forward publicly. So we have your namesake. We have Revathy Sampath, who's come out and spoken about Siddique. She's also named another man, Riaz Khan. We've had Siddique leaving a major film association body. We've had Ranjith now stepping away after another actor has named him. These are women who have gone on record. They have chosen to come forward and place their names in the public domain. Earlier, Bhavana Menon has spoken to me about the Dilip case alleging sexual assault. So there are some women who have spoken publicly, and now you have seen these high-profile exits. How do we look at the importance of these two high-profile exits? Is this a Pandora's box being opened? Is this the Hema panel that is giving them strength to come forward? How do you and the Women's Collective look at these exits?
Yes, I think the Hema Committee report having come out is the start, because when they felt that, I suppose it's years of keeping silent. Sometimes you just need that one small spark, which kind of gives them the courage to talk about it, and this is that spark. So now that is what has happened. And with regards to the people being named by the women, it is very interesting that the government has set up an investigating a panel. They are police officers, and a panel of women police officers who will be investigating into these cases, which is good. I only hope that they sensitize these police officers as to how to handle this entire situation. And it should be a short period from start to finish, not like what has happened in Bhavna's case, which is 7 years long. It's gone on. Nobody has the time or the money to go with that kind of what do you say judicial process.
The Hema Committee panel talks about a powerful group within the film industry. Given that the Women's Collective in the Kerala film industry has made this moment possible, you all have been relentlessly fighting on this issue to lift the veil, as it were, off the issue of sexual harassment, casting couch allegations, and so many other grave allegations. Do you believe that there is a powerful group that for years has been trying to stop this report from coming out in the public domain? That has even, have you had to personally face threats and intimidation as you fight this fight?
Barkha, I really don't want to, say something that I have not personally encountered. But yes, I am definite that there is a group, or there are certain forces that have maybe, tried to stop the report from coming out. But, government initiated the report. They set up a committee, and it is their responsibility towards the people who have come and spoken to them. It is very important that that happened. Now, just because all this is said, it is not that the Malayalam film industry is not a safe space in another matter. We have in another space. It is a wonderful space where so much of great creativity has come out. Internationally famous films have come out. Filmmakers are there. Actors are there. So it is not about everybody, but there is a group. And that is a power group. And so it is important that it is talked about and it is cleansed.
Does this power group contain some of the best known names? Because that is the feeling today, that the greats of the film industry, who are otherwise sort of celebrated for their talent, they have not stood shoulder to shoulder with women.
It's difficult for me to say, but then yes, there are some power names who do not stand shoulder to shoulder. Especially now, when WCC went to speak to the Artists Association, Malayalam Artists Association, at one point in 2018, it was very difficult to sit and have a conversation with them, because for them it really didn't matter that a woman had a say. It was very difficult for them to even accept that. So it was very tough to talk to them. But I'm very happy to see that people like Urvashi and Jagadish, who never spoke in public, are now speaking for the women at large. And that is very good. So that, again, Hema Committee report is the spark. So now people are coming to their own, rather than being bogged down by who they were, or the kind of committee or organization they were part of. So now the individuality is coming out, and which is I think a very good thing. But I'm sorry, I cannot name names, because I do not know for sure. I do not have the proof, Barkha, and it's not right.
Are you upset with how long the government has taken to make this report public?
Yes, definitely. 4.5 years is a lot of time and a lot of change that has happened. Many people could have been, saved, or this whole thing could have come up 4.5 years back. And there were certain issues that WCC had to handle. Those issues would not have happened. So the delay, always delayed justice is delayed justice, and you can do nothing about it.
A final question to you. Do you believe that the kind of exits we've seen are a kind of tip of the iceberg? Are you hoping that the Hema panel, being in the headlines, emboldens other women to come out? And of course, it's up to women, and everybody has to find their own comfort zone. And we're not trying to put pressure on women to name names. I'm just saying that for those who want to, and there are those who have chosen to, there should be a space available for them to have that conversation in public, if they should so choose, right? So whether it's Revathy Sampath, whether it's Bhavana, whether it's somebody else, do you believe the kind of exits we've seen of Ranjith and Siddique are perhaps the tip of the iceberg?
Barkha, there are two things that I would like this report to kind of help. One is, it's not just about sexual harassment. It's also about a whole lot of issues at workplace, like every other workplace and women face, because issues about not being treated properly. They're not even treated in a modest way. Their pay ranges just because they're a woman, even in unions, whether it is makeup, hair, dancers union, or everywhere, just because they're a union, having done the 12 hours shoulder to shoulder with the other men, just because they are women, their pay is less. So all these are also very important factors which the Hema Committee has spoken about, and these have to come out. The other aspect is definitely the sexual harassment, which seems to be the more spoken about aspect of it. This, I feel, there would be women who might speak about it if there is a cell, if there is a safer space where they can speak without it becoming so public. I think we should make that space available now. It is time to do that, to make that space where their privacy is also, kind of maintained, and they have the courage to speak, because it has been holding on for too long.
Can I end with asking you what has been the most difficult thing for you as a woman in the movie industry? You now have this women's collective. This women's collective has allowed many of you to come together and speak as one. But for you personally, you've said there's sexual harassment, there is general institutional discrimination, salaries being condescended to, being patronized, all of it. What for you, ma'am, has been the singular most difficult experience personally as a woman in the industry?
Barkha, when I was working, it was a different kind of a space, and things I really did not have too much to complain about. But after an age, when you speak to the same colleagues with whom you have worked shoulder to shoulder with in so many projects, not one or two, and they discriminate you just because you're a woman who is speaking up, that is hurting me now. I was shocked to see that people whom I've worked with in several films, and we have done such great work together, they are discriminating me because I am talking up, and I'm talking up not just for me, but for other women around me. And that discrimination is extremely hurtful. I was called not by name. They called me the women. Please, I think they all know my name. And we had to introduce ourselves by name, saying that I am Revathy. I have worked in this industry for the last 40 years, and this is who I am. So that really hurt. So which means they are trying to, avoid people who have the courage to speak up.
Yeah, it is an inflection point, and one will have to see how many both men and women stand in solidarity with the women's collective, with the women who have been survivors of this kind of discrimination. And Revathy, I'm only going to say more power to you and the women's collective, because if it were not for all of you, I think even 4.5 years later, we would not have had this report in the public domain. So thank you for fighting the good fight. And thank you for speaking.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks, Revathy.
And
take care.
Please take it national and people talk about it. Thank you.
Absolutely. We'll be in touch. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Okay.
It's great to see you here. Thank you for watching our work. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click the bell icon and subscribe to Mojo Story and support independent, robust journalism.